I want to take a quick look at the stock market here. I mentioned this as a possibility in, I believe it was my last video, that this particular daily cycle was getting a bit mature, and there was a possibility that we could move down into a daily cycle low. I'm not, terribly sure that we're going to have recognizable daily cycle lows in a in the second phase of a bubble. So this may just completely reverse again tomorrow. But anyway, as of today, this is starting to look like that maybe we've started that move into the daily cycle low. And as you recall in my previous video, I suggested that maybe if that were to happen, we would come back down and retest this breakout from this consolidation box we've been in, and then resume the bubble phase. So that may be what is starting here today. We've got a decent 1.5% down day in the Nasdaq, and if that's the case, then we're probably going to come back down to test this 1200 kind of this resistance, which should now be support zone, and then we would start the next daily cycle and continue the what I believe would be the second phase of the bubble, and I don't really expect that to be done. As I've said before, the bubble phase in any market tends to last about a year, so I'm not really expecting a top in stocks until March, other than maybe a temporary top, which this may be. This may turn out to be a temporary daily cycle top. We got to dip down, clear out the some of the excess optimism, and then we get our next leg up, and then we get a sustained breakout from this consolidation zone here at in this 1200 area. And real quickly, the potential driver for this might be the dollar bouncing out of a daily cycle low. It's still a little bit early here for me to determine whether this is going to be really a bounce out of a daily cycle low, or if this is just some kind of little minor bear flag, and then tomorrow we head right back down again. The first thing that'll have to happen is we have to break this downtrend line. So if we continue to get more of a rally in the dollar here and we break this trend line, then I would say yes, this is going to turn out to be a daily cycle low. Again, I don't expect this to last for very long. It should left translate just like this previous one. This little rally here only lasted 8 days, and then it left translated and started the next leg down. I would expect something similar here, where this would be day 3. So, usually they run a left translated cycle will run 5 to 10 days, and then roll over and start down. A potential spot for a top would be this pivot right here. That would act as resistance. So, and that would, if we get to that point, that would be enough to break this trend line. And then also one parameter that needs to be met to confirm a daily cycle low is price needs to get back above this 10-day moving average and then stay there at least long enough for the 10-day moving average to start to turn back up. So again, it's too soon for me to tell for sure whether this is going to turn into a daily cycle low and give us a more sustained bounce with maybe another 5, 6, 7 more days to go before topping, or whether this is just a minor bear flag that's going to break down quickly and continue down to that 88 zone. But if so, it has the potential to knock stocks and probably gold and silver stocks at least into a daily cycle low. I'm not convinced yet that gold would make a lower low. It looks like gold has completed a final daily cycle low and possibly intermediate cycle low, but that doesn't mean that it couldn't churn sideways for the next 3 or 4 weeks. Moving back below 1850 today kind of brings that scenario right back into play. All right, I'll look at the gold chart here real quick before we finish up. But gold hasn't dropped back below the 10-day moving average yet. So, this is not a sure thing, but dropping back below this support and resistance zone, especially if it closes the day here, does open up the possibility that we've got a chop around here for maybe the rest of December and then into January before we can get any upside traction. And that, unfortunately, that is not an unusual bottoming pattern for gold. It can produce a very erratic whipsawing sideways churn before the bulls finally gain control and you start to get some upside momentum. So we'll have to see how this closes today. If it does close below 1850, then the odds start to swing in favor of a very choppy, erratic pattern for the next 2 or 3 weeks before we get any momentum to the upside.